believe all women will have breakthrough.
Should I put on my safety gear?
Believe that. So because see, menopause, as you know, sometimes so much things are associated with it in terms of the causes, the effects, and all of that, things like anxiety and all of that.
I guess it is misunderstood by many men.
By many men, and this is the reason why that such a program is very
crucial.
important.
I got you.
For us to be discussing this afternoon. So we hope that all our ladies, we hope that you all are locked in and tuned on. So, Ms. Kashiwa, could you please take the lead since you were
Yeah, sure. But I want to say first that the conversation that we're going to have would not be focused on like medical advice, because I know a lot of people may listen. But I heard that on the radio. This is not medical advice in no way. It's just from personal experiences and the experience of not just myself, but other women as well. And we're just going to jump into the conversation. So the topic came up between Roland and I on talking about menopause, particularly because we work in the field of disabilities. And I'm in one of those stages, that peri stage, when all kind of things happen to your body. And the first time it started happening to me, I was in shock. And I didn't know what was happening. I started putting on weight. I never had a tummy before, and then I started seeing fat there. And that was really traumatic for me. Because I wanted to, look like, nobody must know
Miss
I have,
Universe,
I don't know if it's Miss Universe, but I like that look.
Well, I just have to tell you, it ain't looking bad, all right?
Okay, I take it.
Okay.
But for me, it was very traumatic because I was used to my body being a particular way. And when the weight started coming and the fat around your tummy started coming, coincidentally, I had a conversation with someone I was working with at the time, and she was asking me questions she found out how old I was. And she started asking me questions on how do you feel now and what happens to your body and all those things. And I told her, girl, I just started putting on weight and I just don't know why. And she said, maybe you should check the doctor because it could be this. And when I went to the doctor, he started explaining what is menopause, which I knew what it was. I would let you do the privilege of explaining what that is to people, as the man who is, in the menopause conversation.
I'm so glad you chose Roland.
Go
Go ahead, Roland. Let's hear it from
you. You would have your moment. Don't worry.
Since when Roland is a specialist.
And that's it. We're not specialists here. We're just talking. But I guess you would be able to share what it actually is. But for me, it was when the doctor explained and he said, you could be in this phase. But I still young. At that time, I think I was about 43, going into 44.
Yeah, I think that's around that time.
It really starts, but that's the thing. There's a misconception. It varies based on the age, based on the woman,
okay.
and it could start as early as in your 30s.
Oh my gosh!
Like 35 plus. So, a lot of women are unaware of it, and I hear a lot of young women talk about, "You're mad, I'm not going through that phase," or "You're mad." It's like you are going to be where we are at in someday, very soon, and then you would understand. But it was something fascinating for me when we had to do all these tests.
Yeah.
And I did this test to check my estrogen level and some other kind of blood tests. I did all kind of blood tests to check your thyroid, to check your liver function, your heart, all those things. And when the results came back, it looks like you're in that perimenopause phase.
Oh.
And from since then to now, I've been battling with it. I was advised to do a lot more. I exercise. So it was advised that I do more strength training.
Right.
And I did speak to
like
the
weights and
instructor.
whatnot.
Yeah. So
Okay.
at the time I did more cardio and stuff like that. But when they said do strength training, I was like, okay. So I spoke to the instructor that I work with.
Right.
And he built out a program for me, and we continue to maintain the program. So it's working fine for me for now.
Yes.
But there are a lot of different things that happens with women, with your body, mentally, emotionally, and physically, that can be challenging. And one of the challenges are that a lot of women sometimes are unaware of what is happening, and then we are in relationships with men who has no clue what is going on with us, our bodies.
Yes.
And if I don't know, I can't even share that information with you.
And that's a recipe for chaos. isn't
it
it?
usually causes chaos. But let me let Roland explain what menopause is. Come, Roland, tell us.
Roland.
Come, Roland.
If
And then we
you can set
continue.
up, if you can set up my experience in
The
here.
ball has been passed to
To
Roland.
Roland.
Very little information about menopause, having Google it and that kind of thing, doing a little research, is that menopause basically is when a woman experiences 12 months straight without menstruation. Good. So as long as you have passed 12 months without seeing your menstruation, then you're experiencing menopause. Good. There are the perimenopausal state. Then there is the menopause state. So you have 3 stages, and then you have the post-menopausal state.
Wow.
The peri, I guess you'll be starting to get like some of the symptoms like hot flashes and these kind of thing, anxiety, that kind of
The
thing.
weight and whatnot. Yeah.
You'll start to get some of the symptoms, and then you'll be more into the menopausal stage. When you start like missing your periods and that kind of thing or whatever. Just my little knowledge speaking to me and
He did a good
Googling
job.
it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, how does he know all that?
Well,
Yeah, good job.
the thing about it is that
Relax.
all men supposed to know that.
Okay.
But
there's not
they,
much
but
there.
they don't. I remember looking at a program recently on TV, and this guy, he does this popular program, and he was asking men, so when you're going to start menopause, boy? And the guys were saying, well, maybe when I'm about 40 and thing, and he was just cracking up. And when he told them, well, this is what menopause really is. It's a woman not having her monthly cycle for 12 consecutive months. One of the guys was like, well, then I wouldn't be going through menopause then because I don't have my period.
Right. I think men
It
do
was
go
so
through
funny.
something. It's called andropause.
Andropause,
Yes,
correct.
it's-
But the thing is, it's like, yeah, men go through something, andropause, but women always have this, we have the actual happening, and then after it happens.
Oh,
It's like, oh my gosh, come on.
That's a lot.
And it is. And what happens, you can identify pinpoint certain things in a man when he is going through his phases.
Okay.
But with women, there's so many symptoms and so much happens to a woman's body that you are clueless sometimes as
Right,
to what
right,
is going on.
right.
Like for me personally, I get brain fog now. And it's something that was very challenging for me to accept because I like I'm a thinker, so I think a lot and ideas just flew in my head. Like
Yeah.
it just flew. So we talking about something and Kushiba, I want to do so and so and so, and how you want to do it? And I would just come up with an idea. Maybe we could try so and so and so. Let's try this. That's a good idea, Gail. At one point in time, most recently, I was feeling like my brain not functioning the same way again.
Yeah.
And again, we had to go by the doctor to find out, well, all this is part of the process. It feels like there's so many things happening to your body at one time that you cannot actually function normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's put a little pin in that for now. We got the news,
Of
and we
course,
shall
we'll come back
continue.
after that,
Very
yeah.
interesting. I didn't think it would have been this interesting, but it is. So stand by. We'll continue right after this.
This is TTT News on Talk City 91.1.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right
Me being a menopause expert, I think we leave that to the doctors. So hopefully one of these days we can have one of the doctors come in and have more of
You
a
will, of course,
conversation
you're going to try
on it,
to have some doctor
where
come in for
persons
that
would
kind of
feel more
From a clinical
from the
approach.
clinical, the clinical side of it. to
You're right now, we're
understand
just
what
talking
happens.
from my experience.
Yeah, yeah.
aspect
But
of-
well, not your experience, but yeah.
Oh, that would be something.
But yeah,
Okay.
from,
the
from
oval
an
bowl by
experience.
googly day boy people. Right?
But you know, one of the concerns I've always had, like in me understanding what has been happening with my body of itself, knowing women my age or some even older, telling you what their experiences have been like. My concern have always been, like women with disabilities going through the phases of perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. You know, like what happens with them, and do they even understand what happens, and who helps share the information? Because I remember having a small conversation with a deaf friend of mine's, something she was asking me about, and the talk came up, and she asked me, what are you talking about? And I texted her, you know, like it's when your body probably start changing, you may get some hot flashes, your hormonal levels go away, so less estrogen, so it means that you're now feeling differently, your period might be missing. I tried to explain one or two things to her, and she said, but that has happened to me. But I knew it would have been happening to her because we're around the same age. And she said, but nobody tell us about that. Same thing happened to my mom. And her mom was like over 60 at the time we were having the conversation. But it brought the thoughts to my head that especially women with disabilities, but deaf women in particular, they usually do not have anyone to share information like this with them, or even guide them through a process of understanding what is happening to their bodies. And similarly with the guys, because your body would be changing, you would be going through different mood swings, the same libido, like people just, I'm not feeling to have sex anymore. But, people who may talk about they're not getting as hard as they used to. These are the guys. And it's like, maybe it's because
exercising.
of your age. But then it's your age. Sometimes it's because of age and what naturally happens to your body at certain age. So then if you understand what is happening to your body, then you could do things to help your body,
Correct.
like function much better.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of
Stay
people
youthful.
they don't pay attention to it. And for me, there's a concern with the information that we have. We have a lot of information on the internet, a lot of information out there, but sometimes it's not accessible or easily accessible to women with disabilities, or help them understand that process of what happens. So I think that is something that I really want to focus on as well. Not today particularly, but it's something that we can have conversations with women with disabilities as well. Let them share their experience and their stories, because I would really like to understand how they go through the process of, if I don't even know what's happening to me, how do I explain what's happening to me and one of the other concerns I have are relationships. I'm going through a phase in my life where my partner is unaware of what is happening because I am not aware of it.
Right.
And when I do understand what is happening and I share this with my partner, they may not be open enough to even understand when I'm going through these changes. Because you hear men saying, "Well, you're going through menopause," or telling them, "Are you seeing your period?" or and they make fun of those things, but those things really has side effects for women. It have effects for women, so it affect our body in particular ways. And when you tell a guy, "Well, you're going through menopause," or you probably could be at the age to be going through something like that, or he's experiencing changes in his body, so you don't know. But I think men make fun of things that are so not funny sometimes.
I know.
And for me as a woman, it's like, wow, that is a really touchy kind of story,
But usually when you hear a man tell another man that, is it because it is meant to mess them up,
That's it. They
You
think
know?
the guy is too touchy,
If not that they,
or he up in his feelings.
if not that they
or-
don't know what they, that menopause usually. Well,
I think some
well,
don't
hold
know,
on.
Roland.
A lot of men feel, number one, because they don't know about the andropause in men and that kind of thing.
Right.
Most men don't. So they know men is menopause, they're associated only with
Women.
With women. So when they tell a man that, it's because they're
Yeah,
out
like a
to
woman.
mess them up now. Yes, exactly. You see?
Pekong.
Yeah.
Interesting concept.
Oh.
Very interesting concept. But
No, I'm
I
telling
think
you,
men say
it
some
is
horrible
meant
things
to
to
mess
each
them
other.
up now. Sadly.
If I may, I'll just jump in and say, when I went through my anxiety disorder, it was a time when my body was going through changes as well. So it was so much happening at the same time. I didn't know where to start, to find the information. So I prayed, because it was a lot of you mentioned brain fog. I had a lot of brain fog, but mine was anxietal, right? So I started researching. I researched everything under the sun about what I could have been, what I was feeling, my symptoms. I went crazy on research, but I allowed myself to go through whatever it
process.
is. Yeah, and I think that's what really helped, to give me some kind of to have me keep sanity, because I felt like I was losing my mind. So just know that your body is designed to heal, right? You need to give it a little help at times, but it is designed to heal. And for the most part, you can get through it. Especially if it's a mental issue or something that you can't understand, just allow it to do its thing,
I agree. And I think that's why the conversation is important to have, publicly, for women, because once you understand at a particular age your body will start going through changes. It's not something to make you to alarm or to oh my gosh, what's happening to me, but understand that, this is part of the process.
Yeah.
And now I have to so what I have done personally for myself is I have accepted whatever the changes are. If I feel like there is something happening that this not feeling too normal, I would visit the doctor's office to find out, well, what is going on with me.
Okay.
But if it's
That's good,
something
actually.
that, yeah, so I go to the doctor plenty because like I said, I was used to my body being one way, boy.
Yeah.
But for me now, it's like because it's not just physical, external changes.
Yeah.
Apparently, things happen internally, and you have no
Yeah,
clue what's
yeah.
going on in
Right,
there as well.
right.
So once I start feeling something off or differently, like for example, I'm having really bad acid reflux of late. I've never had that problem before, but I never used to eat on time. So when I was younger, I did this intermittent fasting thing that worked for me. I maintained my weight. I didn't even know what it was. I'm not feeling to eat today, so I'm not going to eat today. I'll have one meal or whatever. And as I started getting older, I have to eat.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just don't feel like eating.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just don't feel to eat. And the doctor is like, but you have to eat.
Something.
So even if you don't feel to,
Have a
get
soup or
crackers.
something.
So my friends make fun of me always because I always have cricks in my house and I
Okay.
always have tuna in my house.
Okay.
And the easy thing to go to is
Cricks and tuna.
cricks or tuna.
Or some cheese or
Or
something.
cricks. I don't eat cheese.
Okay.
So it's cricks and peanut butter, or cricks and tuna, or cricks and whatever I feel to eat it
Right.
with. It's like, Kashiba, yeah. Because sometimes I just don't feel like eating. And now that when I don't feel like eating, it affects my stomach in a bad way where it's now
Yes.
causing acid reflux. So I have to now manage that by making sure I eat something, and those are some of the changes that happen internally that if you do not understand what is happening, you're going to go crazy.
Yeah,
And might be just as you're saying, because of I'm reading all these symptoms, because when you start reading stuff online, oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I know.
Different.
It's so much.
You know, that used to creep me out too.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
a
oh,
lot.
Suppose it's
It's a
that now.
lot.
Suppose it's that now.
And you
study-
you diagnosing
study
yourself.
kind of-
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then your mind starts to go. So I just kind of put that aside after a while. I said, let my body just do its thing. And eventually I just started to slowly come out. I noted the progress though. And I said, okay, I'm making some progress here. And then I just gave it a little help. And, it took me over a year though to fully get out of what I was going through.
Which is good. I
Yeah.
went through depression for 2 years and didn't even know it was depression
Right.
at one
Oh my
point.
gosh.
It's
You're
like,
serious?
yeah. And I didn't know what it was. But all I was part of my process and I had no
Yeah,
clue what
yeah,
was happening.
yeah.
Because I was just feeling to cry.
Right.
So I cried for probably like
Lots
10
of
months straight.
emotions.
Every single day I
Ways.
went to work and I came back home and I said, because it's COVID time, maybe it's like, no, it have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Because I was working normal during COVID time. But
Right.
it was after I started, this was part of the whole, because they're asking me now, do you get emotional? No, I really don't feel you could get me irritated now. I'm
Yeah.
like really irritated.
Yeah.
But I don't feel emotional to the point of crying. No, I don't. And then it's like, oh, that probably was my phase. And because I was super emotional.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to a friend of mine who is a psychologist, she was, Kashiba, you're going through severe depression. It's like, what? And she said, you have two options. We could either medicate or we could do some counseling. You need to, it's like, I will do the counseling.
Yeah.
And I started talking to a counselor that I usually go to. He and I had some conversations. He didn't even know what I was doing counseling for. I didn't even tell him. It's just I think I need to talk some things
Yeah,
out. And in
yeah.
talking it
That's
out, I
good.
started figuring some things out. And it's like, okay, I'm good now.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so I was able to identify what was happening and deal with it. And that is what happens to most of us. But when we go back to relationships, if you're in a relationship with a partner who is not open to accepting the changes that a woman is going through, it can cause a lot of challenges in a relationship, because this is where people step out of relationships because, well, she's not feeling to do so and so again, not understanding that she's not feeling to. She's literally not feeling to because her body's not giving her
Yeah.
that urge
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
And it's not like it's going to stay like that forever, but that's a phase that she's going through, and we have to learn to understand that phase.
right.
Because someday you two will be there now. And as the woman, I got to be
Oh my
understanding of that phase too.
gosh.
You
Yeah,
understand?
guys, take
So
notes.
it's like, yeah. I think
Because
men.
talking about that, I remember
Oh my
I
gosh.
had a big sister of mine, and I remember she and her husband, well, I'm not sure if they were married, but man, whatever. I remember they mashed up because of that. And, now that you're talking about it, I remember she telling me the same thing. And when because they were together before my injury. And that was like about 30 years or so. And when they were like inseparable. So when I heard, well, they're no longer together, that was like an era that finished to me. You see what I say?
Yeah.
What? so and so no longer together. Wouldn't that happen? And then I remember speaking to my sister, and she told me it was the same thing. She wasn't feeling like for sex and that kind of thing or whatever anymore due to that probably same thing. And that caused, the relationship to fall apart eventually. And the other thing too that jumps out to me now that you're talking about it is that unfortunately I'm beginning to wonder that some of these ladies especially who have committed suicide because you said about grave depression being part of the experience. And it now comes to me that I wonder if unfortunately that some of these ladies, up to recently, remember, I think somebody was a civilian in the police service.
Yes.
And she committed suicide just for about 3 weeks, a month ago.
Yeah.
And you're making me now start to wonder if it's because of that same thing.
Yeah.
Well, it could be for many
be
different
too,
reasons. And the thing is, like how Alex was saying, he had his moment with anxiety and it took him a while to get over it. Some people go through phases in their lives that they just don't understand what is happening.
Yes.
So like I said, I was going through depression for 2 whole years and I did not know I was going through it because I never thought of myself being a depressed person. But it happened. It was close to 2 years, I should say. A year and almost 11 months. I actually picked it up November of the year when I figured it out, and that was almost at the end of the year. So it could be that people go through a lot of things in their lives without even sharing it with other people, without sharing it with friends or family members or anything. They just go through this because most times we feel like if I share this with someone else, they may not understand or they might feel like I'm bothering them.
You're right.
And I don't want to bother people. Or I don't want to, like, even the experiences women have, I don't want to be telling my husband all the time, I'm not in the mood. Oh gosh, when they touch you, oh gosh, it may feel like that. So it's like sometimes it's a conscious decision in some relationships too. Okay, if this is where we at and you think we should get a divorce or you think we should separate, well, okay, fine. It's not that they don't love each other or don't care about each other anymore. It's just that we're at a point in the relationship where we're at a loggerhead. And listen, I don't know how long this going to happen to me for, and I didn't expect you to stick around for the 5 or the 6 years I might be not in the mood for you. Yeah. So, so sometimes there are people who reason it out and communicate in relationships, but then there are sometimes when there's no communication happening.
But that's the reason why they always say communication is the key
I agree.
In all relationships.
Totally.
You know what I mean? I mean, from my perspective, I mean, if true love, you're supposed to be able with both partners.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Thick or
supposed
thin,
to be
right?
able to, of course.
I think that's
because
a conversation
you don't
by
want,
itself. I think that part is a conversation by itself.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Terry.
Because at the same time, I mean, if you truly love that person, man or woman, you don't really want to know whatever that person going on their own, and still that person have those problems.
Right.
I mean, you just go the other way, not really sure what's going on with the other person. Yes, and I mean, see that's from my perspective. I mean, if you're talking about true love, I mean, that's always see it.
Well, but I think that is a whole other topic.
It is. I think it's another topic by itself.
It is. It is.
That's another topic by itself. Go ahead, Alex. Sorry.
No, I had a thought actually. Just a little while ago, but it was kind of like you were talking about before the relationship. Talking about. Anyway, so I think it was along the lines where communication, right? Sorry, it's really important. If you talk it out, like you spoke to a counselor and you felt better, talk to someone. If you're going through something and you don't know what it is, even if you can't explain it, don't keep it inside.
I agree with you 100%.
Because I was talking to people, right, and they didn't understand because I didn't understand.
Right.
But by talking to them, it kind of helped me to try to figure something out, along the lines of, what I was trying to explain, right? And eventually I got, little bits and pieces. And then I put that together. And then I spoke to a friend of mine who's an alternative doctor. And then he shed some really major light, on my situation. I'm like, oh, okay. It's not as bad as I thought. But I was communicating. I started to talk to people.
I think talking, though, is everybody's a therapist. Everybody could solve your problem. Everybody somehow have the same experience. Everybody always feel they know everything. And this is just me being frank. For me, I feel talking about certain situations or circumstances requires you talking to people who understand. But I cannot have a conversation with somebody who have never been in a relationship in their life.
Right.
For you to get an understanding for me of the challenges I may have in a
They can't
relationship
relate.
that I'm having, I'm not relating to you.
Yeah.
I've never been married, so my perception of marriage is totally different to persons who have been married before.
Gotcha.
I have my opinions of what the marriage should be like and how we should treat each other, whatever. Similarly, how you were talking about love. I have my own opinion of those things, but I was never married, so I can't give no married person no advice really and truly
Right.
about. I could tell you what my opinion is if you ask. So for me, it's talking things out sometimes, like in instances like this, when you're having challenges, it's very important to understand what is happening. And if you have an idea of something is happening with me, talk to the people who you think might be able to assist you with what is happening, because we could talk to our friends, they give us their own opinion and from their perspective, and their perspective, even though we're having similar experiences, is two different people having the same experience. I see it differently from you, so your perspective might be totally different from mine. So for me, and I think a lot of people don't understand the power of counseling or the power of talking to a therapist or a psychologist. They think like you're a mad person. It has nothing to do with that, because sometimes in life we go through all these phases where we feel very confused and in our head all kind of thing happens in there. And the therapists and counselors, especially very good counselors, know the right questions to ask you to make you think, but not think of all the different thoughts that you've been thinking about, but focus your thoughts on, okay, why do you think you're having this experience? I remember the counselor was asking me a question based on something we were talking about, and he asked, how do you think you contributed to this? But I never thought I contributed to nothing. It's like, what are you talking about? But wait, how did I contribute to it? And it made me think. So we need to stop the session here. And I had to go back and come back next week, because I need to figure out and he had to be honest. And sometimes as people, we are not very honest with ourselves. So I'm going through an experience, my body's changing, but I'm not telling my partner, listen, this is what is happening to me. I think I need to go by the doctor because I don't understand what is happening. And we hide it because we're feeling like if I tell my partner, my partner may not understand, but I don't even understand. But if that person who loves you, as you were saying, we will try to figure this out together.
Right. Of
So let's go by the doctor. And when the doctor give whatever the diagnosis might be, are we willing to sit now and have that conversation to work it out together, or even try? Or, girl, you see me in a time of that, I go and get a next person, and I go stay and help you figure it out for some point of it, but I need so and so and so. You know, we have to be honest about
Correct.
experiences, but where our lives is at a point, we need to be honest about that and just talk to people who know what they're talking about. Because too many times I've seen people having conversations or hearing them having conversations with a person who telling you something from their own I know I experienced that before. Boy, you know I do when that happen, I do so and so and so and so. It's like, how is that gonna help me? Or, you know, so those things are very important. And similarly, when we are going back to the menopause talk, I remember hearing a doctor saying, I listened to Dr. Brown on TikTok. She's a really good doctor, and she was sharing some of the symptoms that women go through during menopause, and she was saying not all women experience the same symptoms, and that is something that we all need to understand, because I may be experiencing one thing and thinking because you and I are at the same age, the same stages in our lives, you experiencing the same thing. Is like, no, my body doing something totally different from what your body is doing. So let's talk about what our body is doing differently. And then you might meet somebody who's having the same experiences like you. Then how are you dealing with it? And the way they deal with it, me dealing with it that way might be, that not working for me, boy. So I have to try something else. You know, so it's good for us to talk to the people who know what they're talking about, or who understand the whole experience you have, and to be able to give you better advice or guidance than me just talking to a host of people who I know. I like talking to her, and I agree.
You're good at
sometimes,
it.
Yeah, she's very good.
Talking things out
She's very
sometimes
good at
really do
that.
help. Just to get things out of your mind and clear your head a bit, it does help. But I also believe if you're trying to solve a problem, you need to talk to people who could actually help you solve that problem, and not just be telling everybody, you know, this is what's happening to me, or sharing your business with Tom, Dick, and Harry. I don't believe in that. In my instance, I'm sharing my business with everybody right now because I talk about my own personal thing. But
You know, but the nice thing about it is that we seem though a good listener. You know, because something is very important to talk to somebody who can who can listen, because you know the person doesn't really understand, right? Sometimes
Agreed.
it helps somebody that at least, you know, you were heard. People don't know how important it is
Yes.
just to have something to listen to you, regardless what the problem is.
Correct.
At least you know you'll go away thinking that you were heard.
Good, yeah.
And I remember, unfortunately, you know, not to digress too much, but I remember I was 13 years, but even when I was 13 years, I was a very mature person. I mean, I was a big person, right? And I remember, I mean, tall, now, 6 feet tall, everything ready. And I remember, unfortunately, there was this guy, Indian guy, and first time, you know, he and I really limed, and I always knew like he had problems. You know, something you're talking to somebody, and you could tell their eyes. You know, something you're talking to somebody, and like their mind somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
Although they're talking to you, and something you can see it in their eyes. Now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people tend to communicate with their eyes.
Mm.
You know, if I'm saying something, I say, "Well, shut up." You know, my eye will change. You know,
Right,
like,
yeah,
so I wasn't had problem, but we weren't that close
Right.
to say, "Hey, boy, nobody have problems." You know, I feel there are problems, kind of thing. You know, the first time that afternoon, he and I lined for about 2.5 hours. And I went away thinking, well, if he needed somebody to talk to,
Yeah.
you know, I'm glad that, you know, that he spoke to. You know, the man went upstairs and hung himself.
Ooh.
And that's the importance to me, at least knowing somebody. And I mean, there is nothing that you can do after somebody hung themselves. And always remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always important to me that, you know, if somebody will talk to you, you always get to give them a ear.
Listen.
It
Yeah,
doesn't matter
boy.
how busy you are.
Correct.
You can never tell what that person might do.
Exactly.
You
Wow.
understand? That was 1981. I remember that very well.
Yeah.
Well, I would remember that too. That's a traumatic experience.
And
to
if I tell
something-
you,
Whoa.
I never know the person's name because I'm very bad with names.
Right.
You know, you meet somebody first time, twice time. Yeah, you know, ting. But ask me like 2 days after the person's name was. But you know, for me time, my cousin came because I was helping I was selling a time in a park. I remember I told Leroy Shiloh, my uncle.
Yeah.
He had a big business place in the corner, Jellicoe Street, and helping him son. And my cousin jumped out of the car because I was on the main road. And she said, Roland, she said, if I tell her what happened, I said, what happened? She said, well, I don't want to mention the person's name, but you know. Anyway, the person died. Ashra, the person's name, right? Ashra.
Right.
Ashra. I said, I don't know no Ashra. She said, but what you mean you don't know Ashra? She said, the person upstairs by Leroy. The man don't hang himself. I said, but I now leave the man there.
Yeah.
So from saying that, I never forget the person's name. It has certain things and events that will always make you remember. I didn't write down
Correct.
the name or anything. But
Correct.
I always remember the name afterwards.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would have been very
And that's why
traumatic.
sometimes, you know, every time I hear somebody commit suicide or that kind of thing,
You
I
get
feel
those
it now.
flashbacks. Okay.
You get the loss of life.
Yeah.
You always wonder what could be.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, talking is really important, and if it
It's
is
very important.
yeah,
Very important.
and if you get any red flags that, you know, the person could be leaning towards, you know, that unfortunate end, try to
Something is
offer
always very good to
yeah,
give somebody
offer
an ear.
assistance in some way, you know, hey, come and just stay with me for a while, or, you know, I'm just saying, you know,
Because even though if you don't know the problem,
yeah,
according to what she's saying just now, and truthfully,
Yeah.
different women, you know, they really differently.
Yeah.
And I may say, I will listen to women. I have a lot of women friends, and I will listen to them. I
Yeah.
tend to be a good listener too. And I've heard women saying in the past, some of one or two of them, saying that, you know, even during that period, some of them it was basically smooth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They hardly had
Yeah.
any symptoms. You know, some women had a lot of symptoms. And I remember the first time I was like about 17, 18 years. And this woman, she used to work in the treasury. And she used to have a lot of problems, a lot of sweating. And that the first time I really became aware of what was menopause.
right,
Right? She used to always talk to me in the rehab center when she told me, so God, you know, come from work and all this hot sweating and this hot flash and blah, blah, blah. And she was like about 45 years old. You see? Yeah. So it's really something else.
I think the age difference is something too, because sometimes you hear a woman talking about a particular experience going through menopause. It's like, but that doesn't happen, because I thought that would happen to you when in your 50s and thing. I did not think like
She
your
was
40s
45,
was an
43,
age.
44,
Yeah, I
somewhere
didn't
around
I didn't think it was an age where something like that. I think life now start at 40. I gonna live, boy.
yeah.
And when that time reach, it reach.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, biologically, things will happen, right, as we age. But I have always found, especially within recent times, that keeping yourself fit, eating well, exercising, getting your sleep, getting your sunlight, really important factors that we take for granted. And they really do help. You know, so you can age gracefully, you can still be functional, right? And make a contribution.
But I mean, that's another aspect too, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
You know, what role diet will play into the menopausal stage.
Right.
You know what I mean? I remember speaking to you, you said it really make a difference.
Well, for me, because I said, I managed my intake of what I eat ever since I was younger. There are a lot of things I don't eat, even no matter how tempting it is for me, I just don't eat it.
Okay, you got
because
that
especially when it comes to food. I love food, but there are things I just can't eat. I just don't eat. Like I say, I want a roti, but I'm not going to eat the roti because it's going to make my stomach feel, and that is ever since. I rarely ever ate flour ever since I was young because it makes my stomach feel too
You sure
heavy.
that the potato that's mixed with the flour?
Just flour, bread, anything.
Bread.
So no, I hardly ever eat one bread in the last month or more in my house unless somebody else eating it. And then when I start bringing my sons up, they was the same thing. They hardly ever eat a lot of flour because I don't eat a lot of flour. Do I make bread and all of that for them? They would eat it, but then the bread might stay there and somebody else has to come and eat it most of the times. So, but I think diet is important. What we eat, remember they said, I think it's like 85 or 90% of everything happens in your gut. So once we pay attention to what is going there, it's one thing. But a woman, as she's going through the phases of menopause, it's also recommended that you exercise. So you do a lot of walking, or you do like strength training exercise because your muscles kind of loosens up. So you need to keep that tone and to keep all of that.
Yes.
Go and do some good workout. I've been doing some heavy working out.
Yeah.
I complain sometimes in the gym. And
You serious? But,
yes! And I complain.
Can't you tell?
I complain, and you need to stop complaining. And like, this is too heavy.
But being a former bodybuilder myself, and people, I mean, I don't look that way now. I'm 43 years. Just where I would like to see before my injury, right? And being somebody who used to train people in bodybuilding too, right? In terms of this strength training aspect, you know, I'm trying to see how it's related to the menopausal thing now. Because you know sometimes you could train with plenty reps, or like Frank Zane and those kind of bodybuilders.
Oh, I remember that name.
Well, I remember the bodybuilder that was for donkey years, you know. So, I mean, from the 20s, 30s, I could just call bodybuilders for you.
Yeah.
Right? Frank Zane was one of the men who won Mr. Olympia.
Boy.
Yeah, Mr. Olympia he won. And he was never really a big bodybuilder, you know. He would be just like probably about 210, you know, off season. And during bodybuilding, when he was winning, he was like about 186.
Okay.
And winning Mr. Olympia. He wasn't a big frame person. And the thing about Frank Zane is he never really believed in heavyweights because he was always afraid of being
too big.
Injured, no.
Oh,
injury, no. Right?
But I think I managed what I lifted.
Even Lee Haney and all.
Yeah.
Right, who won 8 Mr. Olympia. He never, based on I always follow them up to this day, he never really had an injury, you know.
Right.
Good. Because the guys always try to avoid getting injured kind of thing. Right. So that's why I'm saying that in terms of, you know, something in bodybuilding, or whether you're a bodybuilder or not, people work out for various reasons just to stay fit, whether it's athlete, that kind of thing.
I think
sometimes
with women,
you could train with plenty reps, but light weights with plenty reps.
That wouldn't work.
Right. And then you could train with
because
heavy
I think
weights.
the lightweight would not do because your body losing muscle mass because going through the period because of you have to maintain the muscle mass. I think lifting a little heavier than you're accustomed lifting is what helps with it. Because my jerseys don't fit my arm the same way anymore because it's feeling a little stronger.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, you know. It feels kind of good.
It does,
and your back looking, it's like, look at that, your
the
back
back
looking a little
yes,
sexier.
yes.
But if I was lifting light, I would not have gotten that definition. However, when I spoke to the doctor initially, it was a male doctor gave me the advice. First, he do strength training. What do you mean strength training? I have to lift. He said lift a bit heavier than you're accustomed lifting. And that is what I had to do. And that is what I do. Sometimes I challenge myself by working out with the guys who I work out with. It's like, okay, I'll work out with Roland today. And I actually do it.
But just
you
make
know,
sure-
push myself. But
Yeah.
no, we have a really good trainer.
Yeah, but then make sure
So-
you warm up enough. And
Yeah, we, like I said,
Yeah,
we have it's a personal trainer you work with.
Right,
So I
nice.
don't have the problem of not warming up well enough or doing something that would damage my body. He would not allow that to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, of course.
So yeah, so I think the health side of it is, as you guys were saying, exercise, diet, and keeping your mind active. I love reading. And doing, I do all kind of courses. Just do a course. Sometimes doing things like that also helps because it keeps your mind a bit more active than just.
You're right
not-
about that.
Yeah, not just keeping it.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
you know.
right.
So
We're going to take a little break here for the Father's Day promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
Yep,
yeah.
we're going to play the sounder. So take a listen, and you know what you got to do.
Dad taught me that. Taught me that.
What is that? Okay, that was the Father's Day sounder, by the way. You can call in right now, 622-4911. We have to qualify you for our Father's Day promotion. It's called Dad Taught Me That. Life lessons worth celebrating. Yeah, just tell us, what did you learn from your dad? Any lesson that your father taught you, a piece of wisdom, a saying, or a moment that has stayed with you for your entire life. Let's hear from you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alex.
Yes, sir. How are you today?
Roland and the
Yeah,
guest
good
there. I
afternoon
didn't get
to
her name, but good
Her
afternoon
name, Miss
to you.
Miss Lafleur.
Because Sheba LaFleur.
Le Fleur. Oh, excuse
Yes.
me. French. It sounds like it's French. Le
Yeah,
Fleur.
Yes.
it's exotic. All right, so let's get into this. So tell us, any way you want to put it about your dad, something that you learned
My
from your
dad
dad.
had a lot of sayings, but one that stuck with me always was, it's nice to be important, but more important to be nice. That always stuck with me.
Yes.
I know that saying, and I like that.
Always stuck. He had other sayings, but that one in particular kept
That one
close
stuck
to
with you. But so did you take his advice?
Sometimes I did, and sometimes I didn't.
Well, we're
And
only human.
sometimes I didn't. I wish I did.
Yes.
But, it's nice to be important,
Yeah.
but it is
More
more
important to be nice. I love it. I want to share that later on with my sons.
Yes.
Very good.
Pass it on.
Yeah, definitely. I like that
Yes,
very
pass
much.
it on. So Roland, pass it on to the guests in the studio.
Of course.
Yes.
Pass on that
But
information.
she is very
But
nice.
that stuck with me from
I may say so.
about age 9 or 10.
Yes.
Like to him
Wow.
repeating it all the
You
time.
see how sometimes something sticks with you and you never
Yes.
forget?
But I mean, that's the reason why they always tell you, you start from young, if you don't bend it, if you don't straighten the
Yeah.
branch from young,
Yeah.
then don't expect to straighten it at the time when you reach old.
And waxing
but it's
this
good teaching,
afternoon.
though.
Yes,
It's
it is.
more important to be
Caller,
nice.
hold the
It's
line for
really
us,
good
okay?
teaching.
Don't hang up.
Okay,
Thank,
all right.
thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it is. So let's just take this in, and remember, we're doing this every day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day for the rest of the week as we build up the qualifying list or the list of qualifiers, and we will make the announcement later on this week for the Father's Day special prize. Stay tuned.
This Father's Day, Talk City 91.1 FM celebrates the lessons, wisdom, and unforgettable moments dads leave with us forever. From Monday, June 15 to Friday, June 19. Listen out for the official sounder.
Dad taught me that. Taught me that.
The moment you hear it, call us immediately at 622-4911 or WhatsApp us at 394-4911 or leave us a voice note sharing one lesson your father taught you, whether it's a piece of advice, a favorite saying, or a memory that stayed with you for life. Every caller who gets through qualifies for our grand prize draw happening live on Friday, June 19. Because fathers don't just raise families, they leave lessons that last a lifetime. Dad taught me that. This Father's Day, only on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Come out and celebrate at the parish of St. Teresa's Barataria Annual Harvest and Family Day on Sunday, July 19th, 2026. Join us as we celebrate community. Begin the day with Mass at 8:30 a.m. Then stay on for a joyful celebration filled with live entertainment, delicious eats and drinks, fantastic prizes, fun games like hoopla, punchboard, tin pan alley, and so much more. Look out for cakes and sweets, ice cream, toot bagai, and exciting children's activities for the whole family. Join us at Upper 6th Avenue, Malik Barataria for a day of faith, fun, and fellowship. Parish of St. Teresa's Barataria Harvest and Family Day, Sunday, July 19, 2026. Share, invite, and bring everyone you know and be part of the celebration.
The world's greatest football tournament is here, and
why everybody coming by my
The excitement of world football ignites with the final VAR. Victories, analysis, reviews, the goals, the calls, the experts are on the ball. The final VAR, live on Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. on TTT and TTT Live Online, starting June 11th.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
The excitement of world football ignites with the final VAR. Victories, analysis, reviews, the goals, the calls, the experts are on the ball. The final VAR, live on Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. on TTT and TTT Live Online, starting June 11th.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
On board, it kind of sounded like we're really, really well informed, but that's because of the experience and from learning along the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just want to say before we actually continue that I'm urging and also challenging men out there to get as much information as you can about menopause, about andropause. Yeah, exactly. It may help. You might surprise your partner. You go and say, "Hey, babe, I realize so and so and so." I think that might be, something normal around this time. You'll have a better understanding and appreciation for your partner. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but you see, remember, it takes two to tango.
True.
Right? And most men, for me, if you ask me, I'm a man, when it comes to these kind of things, they tend to be lazy, When it comes to, like, getting information
Yeah.
to improve their relationship.
Yes.
You know, they will more learn by lying on the block.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the partner, they,
Yeah, but you mightn't get
yeah,
the
they're on the block.
accurate
You know what
And
I'm
then
saying?
it's a conversation for the block then. They should start to
Yeah.
talk about it on the block because everybody
Most
have
men,
girlfriends.
most men,
I
when it comes
guess.
to them kind of thing,
Yeah.
it's block talk, they hear the
Right.
partner or some kind of thing. They may really go in and they take it, Google and go in and read up. A lot of men ain't go in and do that. You know, although they should. What we are saying now, and we're making them know, if they didn't know before, that they should.
Yeah,
You
make
can live
yourself
with a
aware.
woman. It's two in the house. You want the relationship to go well. At least you'll have a better understanding as to what's going on with your woman or your wife or
what
whatever
I'm
the case
saying.
might be. You'll be better informed. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
And not only that, but you may have daughters according to your age.
Ah.
Maybe your 70s,
Right.
60s, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll have daughters.
Make
Chances
the
are
time. Make the
in
time.
the 40s and the 50s.
You know, I never thought about it from the daddy's perspective of having daughters. I never thought about it from
Yeah,
that
because
perspective.
remember,
too.
I don't know what it's like to have a daughter.
If you're in the 70s, chances
Neither
are,
do I.
Or
There you
60s,
go.
you know, chances are you'll have daughters, at least not all men, but some men who in the 40s, the 50s, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And at least, you know, you might be able to relate to them, you know, or they will be able to relate to you in a better way
and
because
information is at
information
your
is very
fingertips.
important.
Man, you're walking around with information on the information superhighway. It's right there in your hand.
That's
Just
what I'm saying.
Google it.
So you don't have to so you don't have to depend on the block talk.
You can read while you eat,
Yeah,
having
really.
lunch, do a little research.
Yeah,
So before
it's
you had
important.
internet and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
well then chances are you'll
So
pick
before
up
you
then on the
break
block.
up and say, let me get a divorce, you know, just find out and have understanding.
Have
and
a conversation.
I'm sure you'll be pleased, or your partner will be pleased, and you might even be rewarded, all right? So I'm just saying.
Even if you decide to have the divorce, I think it's something that we,
Yeah.
at least we're having a conscious understanding of why
Right,
we're
right,
having a divorce because the
agree.
girl is where we at or boy is where we at. You know, so you want a divorce, fine. But at least you know and you're
Yeah,
aware because most times the man may divorce the woman and he's going into a relationship with another woman who would definitely be having similarly or sometime would have that same experience.
So when he
So
reaches
you're going to be
that-
doing divorce and all these women
Well,
are breaking up
well,
with all
that's
these
what I'm
women.
saying.
Well,
That's
that's
what
what
it's
people
important
do,
to understand.
and they maybe up to now just don't understand. They don't get it.
Yeah, I think, and like you guys are saying, I think it's important for men to understand what is
Yeah.
happening as well, so that even some men can like tell their wife, maybe this is what is happening in a girl. You want to go by the doctor and check it out, because it's important for them to be aware as well as the woman is being aware. Once both of us are aware, we good. You know, so I think those things are pretty important.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. It is important. Get the information, and of course, you'll be able to make better decisions. And
Yeah,
I'm sure the
yeah.
relationship could
Have a better relationship, I guess.
yeah,
It would be
exactly.
more important to, because if we talk
Let's say when it's 5
and we share,
Yeah,
it will be I think it helps. Like communication, we said helps in any relationship.
communication is key
I think,
in
yeah.
any
I think
type
if
of
we share
relationship.
and-
In any kind of
relationship,
relationship,
work
Yeah, it's the
relationship,
key, is the key,
you know,
so-
school
romantic,
relationship, that kind of thing.
yeah. Business, you have to communicate
Yeah.
well.
And I mean, I for one, I always feel it kind of sad to me when a man and a woman together for a very long time and they end up divorcing or going their own way.
Must
I remember
ask
I
them
have
why.
I have a friend, he was a prison officer. He died now. And I remember he and his woman they were together for 35 years.
Yeah.
And I
That's a
remember
long time.
he used to be by me.
35
And I used to
years.
say, yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think
used to
that's
say,
too
bro,
much.
Yeah.
Wait, my
And, you know, I used to talk to him. I used to say, bro, is something you like me by me? I said, boy, try and talk to the woman. He said, boy, you know, she's not the kind of person, you know, her mentality, she's not the kind of person you could sit down and talk to. And I said, still tell him that now. I said, 35 years is a long time.
Yeah,
man.
and that's the kind of
You know,
relationship.
much memories and all
You're
kind of
supposed
things
to know
going
that
down,
person
going
inside
down the
out.
drain there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but he used to tell me she's not the kind of person
So what you gonna
that
say
you could
for me,
sit down
boy?
and say, well, you know, well, let me have a chat now, let me
Yeah.
talk things over.
I had a relationship with someone for close to 25 years.
You serious?
That's why, like, whoa. Yeah, and we were married for almost just about 14 years.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and that dissolved and went to...
Well, I mean, congratulations that you were in a relationship.
Congratulations, I'm
for
still
so
alive.
long.
Yeah.
For so long.
Yeah.
But it can be very devastating to when you're in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
relationship for so long.
It was a long time, and
And
it
it falls
just fizzled
apart.
out afterwards, and it's like,
Were you very young when you got married?
yeah,
I think-
you know,
And like I said, love and relationships is a totally different story.
yeah.
I admire people who together for 40 years and thing and still say they love one another. I
Yeah.
really admire
and 50 years.
But it
and that kind of
exists.
thing.
I met a couple at one point and they were 70 something and they were together for 40 something. It's like, you're the same age, you together the same age. When I was born, you now get together.
Yeah. And
they
they're still
were,
good, huh?
they were so
Listen to me.
touchy and still
Yeah.
sharing stuff.
That
with
is
each
so
other.
awesome. That's the
Wow.
soulmate vibes right there.
And that's what the man said.
Yeah.
His
Listen
wife
to
was
me.
his soulmate.
yeah.
The longest relationship I remember I heard about in terms of wedding. I remember I was in hospital. I was on Ward 31. And believe it or not, when I heard how old they were Indian people, and this nice, vibrant woman, huh? You see a nice, vibrant woman. I think she was about 85, 80 something.
Okay.
When I heard her said that she married her husband for 65 years now. What? You know, people, I a bit again I fall
That's
off my
a real
bed
celebration,
because
yeah.
I am trying to fall off my bed. I break my neck to see, well, who is this woman?
Yeah.
65 years, you know,
Yeah.
a marriage, and she was still with her husband. Her husband was somewhere like in the bed, just behind me, you know, a little behind me, behind the partition.
Oh, right.
So I almost falling off my bed to see, well, who is this
That's
woman?
awesome, man.
It's
No, I say
commendable.
congratulations. Yeah, it is.
And she was
Congratulations
vibrant
to
and
anyone
in good spirit and everything.
who
huh?
experienced that kind of tenure, you know, that
Yeah,
kind of
because
like
she was married like
longevity.
yeah, she was married like
And
about
they
the
would have
age of
gone
50.
through a lot of challenges.
Yeah, well, them see World War I thing.
What I would say.
Sure.
That's very
you know.
commendable.
Yeah.
Because I heard her saying that she was married since she was the age of 15 years.
Yeah.
You remember
Oh.
back then,
Okay.
you know, they married young.
And some, you know, and then sometimes it could be arranged marriages as well in
Well, yes, sometimes in
rural
certain
communities.
culture.
Yeah,
In certain
in certain
cultures,
cultures. But that don't mean you can't learn to love the person and, you know, grow into something amazing and blossom and whoa, you know.
65 years you're talking
Because she be
about,
like, you're not too sure what that's for. That's like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's
To
commendable.
each his own, to each his own.
Really,
Right?
65 years, I can never forget her.
That's
Commendable.
real
Other what did you want
time.
to
People
telling
like
you.
Alex, 25 years. And
Yeah.
It's still commendable.
Titty.
I
yeah.
still
Like,
think
wow,
about it
that's-
25 years, you know, that's a very long, it's like half my life, you know. And it, I mean, I wish I could tell you that, hey, it still exists, and we, you know, but it just
I
went
wish
to
too, I
nothing. And I
wish
said,
too, I
what?
wish
Well, not to nothing. I mean, we have 2 children, you know, but to think that such a long time, how? Because people look at me like, what? And what happened?
But the one saying,
How come, you know, it's like, what? But
yeah.
it happened, you know, it happened. So,
Relationships, really, like I said, that's
Yeah,
another
that's
topic
how
for
it
you to have
goes.
at another
yes,
time.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
relationship.
That's that whole topic by itself. another
exactly.
day. Because that too have its part to play in a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Relationships can be complicated, but you have to go through the test. of time.
Yes.
Because I mean,
you're
after
right.
so many years, you'll want to believe that each person's supposed to know the other person to such an extent
Yeah.
that they could patch up things. You
I'll
understand
tell
what I'm
you.
saying?
I'll tell you the rest of our story off here. All right, but yeah, what you just said there, you're supposed to. All right,
But don't
let's
say
talk about
But
that.
you know, I remember an older lady telling
Because
me
remember,
that
you're supposed to have a lot of memories. Eh?
Well, you
not
do
just the
have memories.
But I remember an old lady telling me one time,
Yeah.
well, a mature woman, and she said, you never truly get to know a person, no matter how long you stay with them.
Yeah.
She said there are things you'll know about them, you know,
Ah.
but every single day you get to know your
I
partner.
hit the nail on the head
more
there,
and
Kushima.
more and
Yeah.
more. Yeah, and I believe that. I believe you never
Yeah.
truly get to know somebody fully. Every day you learn something new, you learn something new, you learn something new. I believe that. Yeah,
Even after
so-
all those years.
Yeah, after all those years, you
Yes.
think you well know them.
I
sometimes you
learned
don't.
something new.
At least
All
you know what I
right.
mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't.
Yeah. I'm glad that I found out.
Oh my God, Alex, stop.
Oh, God.
Ah,
Yeah.
all right.
You glad that you found out.
Listen, I'm happy. I'm living a happy single life. I'm good.
Mm.
Right? I'm good. Yeah, I know I'm single, but the single life is amazing. I mean, my fish died this morning. I just wanted to mention that because I really connected with that fish.
What
His
kind
name
of
was-
fish? Goldfish?
No, he was a chicklid and he was really big, and his name was Maverick. And up to now, I'm not sure if he's a male or female, but I just call him Maverick. I say he's a male. So whether he's a female, I'm sorry, but Maverick, I have Maverick in the freezer right now. We're gonna have a proper burial later
I'm now
on.
gonna say, is he gonna have
Proper
a funeral?
burial later on. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, man.
Perfect.
So are you sure the relationship didn't fall because you're more concerned with your fishes than your.
No,
Otherwise-
I am glad that
Do you ask that?
I
Do
love
you ask
connecting.
that?
I connect better with animals. I don't know.
Do you want to ask that?
I connect better with
Hold on,
pets.
do you want to ask that?
All
Because you
right,
know,
I'm sorry.
especially when it comes to cars, I have a neighbor like that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's something the voice used to complain.
Yeah.
Because he more concerned about his car.
Car.
He washed down
No,
his
no,
car.
I'm a car man.
He fixed his car.
I am a car
He took
man,
out
for
this,
sure.
This, that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He washing down the car and that kind of thing.
I'm an
sure
auto enthusiast.
I'm sure plenty
Right.
women who are listening to
Yeah,
me could
yeah.
identify with that.
Yeah.
Some men know more about the cars
Right.
than the women.
No.
They can tell about gasket,
I've
sparks,
made women a study as well. I've learned a lot, right? I'm still learning, and I'm happy to know that I can apply certain, knowledge that I have to know how to make better decisions.
Well, I guess at 50, whatever.
Yeah.
Wherever you're at now.
Right.
Better relationships may come along. And if you're going through a relationship with a woman who's going
Yes.
through a phase of life
Right.
that is transitioning, like I usually call it, then
Yeah.
you'll be able to understand. So you'll have a better relationship.
Yes, I'm
Might
looking
last
forward
25
to that.
years or so. Because
Right.
like for me, it's like you have more life behind than ahead.
Well, you never know with
that's
modern,
it. You
with
don't
modern
know.
technology.
Technology might keep us alive longer than we thought.
Med beds and whatnot.
Yeah,
Dare
yeah.
I say that? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like I said, in all relationships, once you communicate, whatever is happening to you as a person, you communicate.
Communication.
That. I think those things
Yeah.
would help. But I think
For sure.
Communication is the key.
very important to
It
communicate.
was a pleasure communicating with you today, Kishiba. I'm now calling you Q.
That's normal.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
Q.
All right.
fine.
Yeah.
That's a nice nickname.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Pet
All
name.
right.
I didn't think
I
about
wouldn't
that.
tell him my pet names.
Can
Keep it.
we go find out. All right. So we gotta close it off here.
people
Looking
live
forward to
with the
next
nice-
Tuesday.
Yeah.
We have so much to
definitely.
talk about. Roland, thanks again.
Of course,
So,
and
you
I just
know,
want to thank
putting it
Kashiba
together.
for coming on and making a very interesting program today. You know, we thank
You
you
guys
very
are
much.
welcome, and I'm looking forward to doing this
Of course,
with you.
next week
so-
Tuesday,
Nice.
man. Next
Yeah, I'm
week
looking
Tuesday.
forward to it.
Okay,
Hope the topics
folks.
will be interesting for the
course.
listeners.
Of course. So, okay, folks, you have a beautiful afternoon. Tomorrow we have Mr. Sigler Jack coming on. He'll be on every
Tomorrow's
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Where was I thinking? Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
tomorrow's Wednesday.
Okay, great. Cool, looking forward. All right, guys, coming up next, we have Under the Radar with David and Heavy Duty here on Talk City.